Okay, so hi everyone and just welcome to this video. So in this video we're going to learn Tailwind CSS, designing your website using Tailwind CSS. I'm going to do all this in just terms of three main things. There is typographs for designing the text, like font size, font weight, like colors of the text, things like that. And then there is the box decoration. I will see things like background color, padding, margin, border radius, sizing, width and height, things like that. And then we'll be seeing the next thing, which is arranging elements. So how do we arrange elements in Tailwind? So we'll be using, for this task, we're gonna use the flex, glide and gride. Okay, so if you're interested, so make sure you hit the subscribe button below if you haven't, and also like this video so that we can just continue, and just comment interested in the comment section. Okay,
so with that being said, let's head to the airport.
The first thing, so you see that over here we do have a website. It's a beautiful looking website for sure, and I want to tell you that everything you see in this website is just divided into these three main things. So you can see that here we're just changing the font family, so which is the type, which is found in the typographs. Like here we're just arranging these elements, these two elements here, and that's on the whole website. All we're doing is just arranging the elements, and this is done here in the arrangement. And there is the box decoration. For example, here we have added a background, we have added some padding, so this is what I call the box decoration. And there are things that you will be observing throughout this website that is actually composed of these three main things that I just want you to just understand in Tailwind CSS. So if you're from CSS, this is gonna be pretty simple because everything is very similar. The difference is that in Tailwind CSS we only use classes instead of writing a lot of CSS properties like this one you see over here. Okay, now guys, we can just get started into our codes. Well, so the first thing I need you to understand, guys, is that everything in Tailwind CSS looks the same. For example, here we have a paragraph, we have a button, we have a heading 1. You see that here they are all the same. There is no change between them. They already look the same, and that's the thing that you should understand, because the reason why they do this is that they just disable every default CSSs so they can just start your own things from the beginning. Just start the things in the way you want, right? So but here the thing we need is that we can just take this button to text decoration, because that's where we're gonna use it right here, and this heading and this paragraph, they can stay here, there's no problem. Well, okay, now you see that everything is just now arranged in its right position. And for the arrangement, we just need a list of maybe boxes so that I can just show you guys how different things work, right? Okay. And guys, as we have seen, the first thing in typographs, we're going to start by the colors. So how do we do the color on an element? So we just simply use the class, which is text, and then the color that we need. For example, it's blue, and then we're going to select the length of this color from these numbers. So you can just select 600. So it's just from 50 up to 950, I guess. And you see that now here we just get a blue card paragraph. So we can just name this as colors. This is Tailwind colors. And the next thing we need, guys, is the text size. How do we do the text size? So this is gonna be also pretty simple. So let's name this Tailwind text size and Tailwind text size. And this is also pretty simple. So to do a size, we start by the word text, and then we just name the size as you can see here. So the first small size is SM, there is AMD meaning medium, there is LG meaning large, there is XL meaning X large. Then you can just do XL2, XL3, XL up to 9, right? So let's just try XL4. That this is a very big sized text. So let's name this as 4XL. Okay, like this. Now you see that 4XL. And the next thing we're gonna follow, so this we're gonna follow the font weight. So how do we do the font weight in Tailwind? So it's also pretty simple, guys. I told you everything is simple. You can also just guess these classes. So here we just have Tailwind, the word Tailwind, and then this is the Tailwind font size. And for the font size, we just need to just simply do the font. No, I'm sorry. So this is just the font weight. So font weight like this. All right. And then how do you do the font weight? So just very simple. So you can just do the font, and then we just try bold. Font bold. See that now it just kind of bold, but if you just want to make it more bold like this one you see over here, we can just also use this extra bold. We just make it extra bold. You can see that it's just really too bold, extra bold. And one more thing, there is also you may also need to just make your text light. So it's just simply using a font. You can just use light like this one. You need your text to be right, and also you can just use extra light. So extra light. So just like this. Font weight. So this is gonna be extra right, and this is gonna be extra bold. So that I can just see the difference between them. So one more last thing is how do we change the font family? So you can just change the font family of any of these ones. So there are so many ways to just change the font families. There are the default font families that are in Tailwind, but if you just need something else, that's also on your own. So that's your, you can see that there is font mono. So this is a font family. You can see this is a font family. There is font sans. There is font sans, which is also a font. You can see that if you just change it, you see that there will be a difference. But sans does not really bring us a big difference. But if you try mono, so this is gonna give us a really difference like this. I guess it's like that. You see that now it have been transformed that completely, as you can see. Another way to just add a font, for example, the font you need to add is not really in here, so you need another font which is not in the default classes. So it's just also simple. So all you need is just right here, it's square brackets, just like the font, and then open the square brackets and then type the name of the font. For example, there is cursive, I guess it's like this. See that now I just get another font, and the beautiful font which is cursive. So let's see the cursive. Cursive font. This is really beautiful. Next, guys, we're going to go on the concept of box decoration. So for it to be clear, I need us to make this hidden. So by simply adding the hidden attribute, now it's nowhere to be seen. And what we need next is the box decoration. So how do we decorate any box? Here we have a button. It's not yet ever decorated, so we need to just make it more decorated. Okay, so because I want you guys to just see everything that I will be doing, so I just need to just add a class. First of all, the first thing, as I told you, is how do we change the background. So it's just also pretty simple. We just simply use BG and then the color. You can just select any color from these ones, like this one. Yeah, it looks beautiful, but for this course I need to use let's simply use indigo. I like this color, so it's just indigo, and then we select 500, which is the normal. And you can see that right now, so we can see what do we need next. So the thing we need next is just adding a padding so that this box cannot be close to our text. So this is also simple. We just simply add p. P means the padding, the universal padding, either on the top, bottom, left and right. Okay, for example p2. So if you want to see the css that corresponds to this class, just hover and then you will see that this is the padding. I'm not really seeing the size exactly, but you can see there is a padding that we added. Okay, you can see that now we just get a padding. So one more thing for the paddings, guys, so we can simply also do the px, so which means that the padding for the x-axis, so for example px4, you can see that now we just get an increased size in the x-axis, in the padding of the x-axis, right? And if you say that there is px, this means that we should also have py. So this is the thing that you can just imagine. For example, py8, so I can just see what I'm just talking about. You can see that now the x, the top and bottom are just increased in padding. So if you want to see what we're doing, so here's the thing. This is the padding. They just use the property called the padding block, and for the px they use a css property called padding inline, so which is the same way as doing padding left and padding right. And for py, this is the same as using the padding top and padding bottom css properties. I can see right here, so there's properties known as, there is padding left, there is right, there is top, there is bottom, and there is the other one they are using, which is inline and block. Okay, I hope you guys do understand this concept, right? So you can see that the next thing that I have right here is the margin. Okay, so here I have the concept of margin. So the next concept was padding, but I've showed you that. So one more thing I haven't showed you is that we can also do the pt, which means padding top. There is pl, padding left, there is pr, padding right, and there is pb, padding bottom, right? Okay, hope that is understood. Next, let's go to the concept of margins. So for you to understand this concept, so I'll drag to add and to just include this into a div, right? So we need to just add this into another div. So you can just use Ctrl Shift P or Command Shift P, and then we just select this warp with abbreviation, then we just add him to a div like this one. And the reason why I'm adding this div is that you can just simply see the margins, how the margin work. You've seen how the padding work, and now I want you guys to see how the margin work. So I will simply add bg white. For this, you see that there is bg white, right? And I want to show you how these margins will be working, but of course I don't need this px, I don't need this py, so it's just too large, too huge. This is really looking normal and good. Okay, so let's start by the concept of margins. How does the margin works exactly? For example, let's say that, as I told you, adding the padding is just, we just use p. This means for the margin we simply use aim. And let's add the aim4. If you add the aim4, this will be adding the universal margin on all sides, right? See that there is a margin here, here, and here, and here. But to just make it even more clear, so let's just like the width, and we just make it fit content, which is the width fit. Okay, so you can just see things more clearly. You see that when I just remove this, there is no margin, but if I include it, so there is a margin right here. Okay, as we've did in padding, so there should be also the pt, which means that the padding top as for the margin, the margin, see that we just get a margin up here. Just consider this white box as a margin. Next we need the margin bottom, so margin bottom let's make it 4. You see that now we have the margin top and the margin bottom, which are equal. So in case we do have the margin bottom and margin top, which are equal, so instead of using these two crosses, we can just simply use a single class for this, which is known as the my, the margin y, for top and bottom. Then you see that now just getting the same thing. Okay, the next thing I need you guys to understand is aim x, which is the replacement for the equal mr margin right. For example, it's 4. You can see that on the right we just got a margin which is 4, and you can also add the margin left, which is 4 2, and then you see that now we get another margin and the next here. So we can just replace all these two in case they are equal with the aim x, then 4. Here we'll be getting the same experience. But then there's another case to just simplify work and just make it even more simple and easy. So for example, here you can see that we do have the my and mx, which are completely equal. So for this case, you can just simply use a single universal margin, which is m4. And now things are still the same. See that now we're just still getting the same thing. Okay, so we're done with the margins. So next we're gonna go to the concept of border radius. So border radius, just carving the borders, just making the borders rounded. So you might think that in Tailwind we just use border radius as border radius class, but it's just very simple than you were thinking. So we just simply use rounded, and then we just select there is rounded. I think there is SM, I'm not sure. So SM means small. You see that there is a small rounded over here if we add the SM. The next one, there is MD, which is the medium, so just way more curved than the SM. And there is another one called LG, which is the large. See that this is also larger than MD. So there is XL, which means that X large is also too large. And then another one, there is 2XL, which is 2 times XL. And there is another one called 3XL. You can also just guess these numbers. It's not really hard. 3XL is that is also too big. And there is another one called full, which means that 100% board. So this can just also make something like a circle. So if we have like a text like this one, see that it's something very close to a circle. Now you see that we just got a circle in case we do have one single letter. So this is the beauty of this one. But you may think that this rounded full, you may think that it's like same as border radius 100%, but they are completely different, right? Okay, let me show you the proof. Let's say that here we have a single letter. Okay, see that we have a single letter. Now it's a circle. You're gonna do this using CSS. Let me just add a simple class known as full. So I just named it full. So which means that, okay, let's make it BR4, which means that border radius 4. And then I'm gonna copy this cross and just go into CSS in here, and then we'll just simply do dot BR full, and then what we'll be doing next, so we'll be adding the border radius here, and then we're gonna make it 100%. Okay, you see they're just getting the same experience, but in the case we just use the full word like button, you see the things are really getting worse. This is not what we needed. So you can see that the other cross was just making it very awesome compared to this way that we are using. For example, there is we use rounded. You see that it's just making more really look fantastic. So I want to show you how it works. Okay, let's simply use the same class. So instead of using 100% in Tailwind, they do use 9099, like things like this. And okay, I guess it's this one. If we use it, you see that this is really perfect, and even if we just deal with these words, we're gonna get the same experience as a circle. That's really awesome. So guys, so the next concept is arranging elements. So this is gonna be a big concept, you guys. I just wanted you to just follow everything that I will be doing. So for this course, I think I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna copy this one and then just put it in here. Okay, simple as this. In the arrangement, so I'm not sure, so I just put in the long areas, so it's just here. Okay, but for just a better experience, we need to just make this hidden. You can just see things clear. Okay, now you see that we just remain with arrangement of elements. So in our arrangement, so we do need something like copy and paste this like 3 times. I'm gonna name this 1, and it's gonna be 2, and it's gonna be 3. Okay, that's really good, fantastic. And now guys, the next thing I need you guys to just observe, so we need to just remove these margins, right? So these margins, we don't need them. Okay, and one more thing, so these buttons, let's try making them as divs, right? So because we don't need buttons, we just simply need a div because we need something which is block, which can just go on the right like this one, so that I can just show you everything and you can just observe everything that I will be showing you throughout this course. And next, this W fit, we don't need it, just want to make it just for. And one more thing, so we just need to make the width fit like this one. Okay, this one over here looks beautiful. We're still having our elements which looks really awesome, and let's just add some like padding 10. Okay, so I can just see things more clear. So, and let's make it a border radius. So guys, we're just still running, so border radius we just use rounded. So let's simply use rounded like 2xi is enough. Okay, beautiful. Now let's start. How do we arrange elements? This is also pretty simple. So the first thing I need to teach you guys is the flex arrangement. So we just simply add a class flex, so which stands for display flex. Okay, after adding the flex, you see that the elements are just arranged on the same line. Okay, so once they're just arranged on the same line like this one, so there are things that we can do. For example, this is the thing that I just did in this website right here. When I just added a display flex, everything was on the same line, and these links were also just right here after this heading, after this logo. Our heading is just a heading that I've just changed the font to just look like a logo. Okay, but how do I just separate them, one to go here, another one to go here? Okay, so to show you this, I would just like to just make this hidden so that we also have two things, two elements, as we just did here. This is 1 and this is 2. Okay, so to achieve this, we need to use a CSS property, and in here on the container that holds everything, which is this one. So but I just need to just rearrange these things like this. Okay, this is a container, and all I need to just use the class known as justify between. So in CSS, this stands for justify content space between. This added a space between the elements. You see that there's 1 and 2, which is the same thing that you were seeing just here. Okay, but in other cases, we may also have things like this one. For example, let's say that we're just going on this side and want to arrange them correctly. So let's make this again shown and then remove the justify content. And how can we just arrange them like this? So you see that they're just pretty close to each other. So one may think that we just need to go on every single element and simply add the mx like 2, and it's gonna bring us a very beautiful space, but this is not really the best practice to use. So the display flex has a property known as gap, which works perfect for this task. For example, gap 3 is gonna add a really beautiful gap between these elements, right? And let's go back to our website. See that now we just added the spaces. So one more thing I'd like to show you guys. So let's consider that we do have elements which are of the different heights. So for example, let's say that this one have like a height of for example, we do have like a height of 10, height 10. I'm not really sure how it looks like, so let's give it a try. Height, for adding height, we just use h, so we just use h10, but I think this h10 is too small, so let's try something from like 50s, like h52, which gonna be also be long. Okay, you can see that this is just changing the whole other properties because they are all enclosed into a flex, so we can just simply add the height feet for these ones, and like this. So I do have something like this, and you just want to align the contents in the center so they can just be on the same line right here. So how would we do the task? So it's this one. I just want to give it like 32. I'm not really sure. So 32. All right. This is beautiful. Looks beautiful. So how can we just arrange these elements? So to arrange these elements is also pretty simple. So we use a class called items, and then we use center. You see that they just arranged into the center, and now we may also need to just arrange these elements, for example on the top. So like how they were, there is end. So when you use end, we see that they're down here, they are just looking like graphs. I really like this looks beautiful. And next, so we do also arranging the base. There's I saw another class known as the base. So baseline, so okay, baseline is up here. Yeah, that's it. That's all we can do. So I'm gonna show you another properties for justify. So for example, it said this items center, and then we use justify contents. There are so many properties within this justify that I want you guys to just see. So there is justify base. I think the base is just right here. Then there is justify end. Now the end is just right here, arranging the elements to just pull them here. And there is justify. So there are a lot of things that we can just try. There is justify between. This is the one that I'll show you. You see that they just give it a space just between. And there's another one known as justify evenly. This means that just tries a way to just find a space evenly. For example, here there's an equal space, equal space, equal space, and equal space here. These are different things that you might need when just tiring. Okay. And the thing, guys, so this is all I can just show you with the display flags, and let's go to the next step. Okay. For the next step, we're gonna learn the concept of glide. So we're a glide. This is something similar to flex, but they're not really the same, right? Okay. As we're using glide, so we don't need this flex from here. We're gonna delete all this. And one more thing, so I'll drag to just make this kind of boxes. So Okay, so I want to make this scrollable, so it's really beautiful. And of course, these are just attached to each other. We need to just make it to add a margin. So we just go on this box of arrangement, and then we're gonna add the margin top. So we just add empty, then maybe 5. Looks beautiful. Okay, it looks like I just added on the long div. I'm really sorry for this. Okay, so we just go here on the next div, we just add an empty 10. This is too big, too big, too big. But no worries. So one more thing, I need to just arrange this so that I can just go on the top. So I need this to be the top div so that I can just see things even clearer. Okay, so as it is top div, so we don't need this margin. Instead, we just needed the margin bottom, which is the MB to add a space just right here on the bottom. Okay, next we are just seeing everything in the view, in the beautiful view. But before we even do anything, I need us to just make this like boxes. To make this in a kind of boxes, just simple. Okay, so to make these boxes, so we need to add the same height and the same width. So to do this, so here I will be using multiple cursors, and then I'm gonna add the size, and then 32. So the size is a very awesome property that sets the width and the height at the same time. So here now we just get a equal height and width. But I can see that the width is not really set. I'm not really sure why this is happening, but I guess it's because this property of width that we've used before. So we need to just remove this. Okay, so once it's set, we have things which are equal. And next I need to just make these numbers into the center. So just remember the flex that we used before. So we're gonna add the class flex, and then after the flex we just use justify center, and we also use items center to just put into center. And one more thing, guys, so I don't need this rounded, so I don't need to see it rounded, so I can just simply remove this class. And now we just get the beautiful boxes. Okay, there's box 1, box 2, and box 3. Maybe if you just want to see them different, how they're different, so let's just try use different colors. Okay, so I'm gonna search for a beautiful color in here. So I just got a color which is blue 500. So okay, there is one color, and also I also need something like pink and red. Okay, I think this looks beautiful, right? I'm going to just arrange these elements using display glide. So how do we do this? Glide, I really like how glide works. First thing, we need to add a glide. So we just add simply glide. Okay, after adding glide, you will see no change, right? Okay, next we need to just set the glide. For example, we just need 2 elements, so we just say glide colors, and then we just select 2. This means that it will just count 1 2, and then the other ones will be going on the bottom. For example, if you add one more, if you add like more elements over here, you see that they will be arranged correctly. There's 1 2 3 4 5, right? Okay, looks beautiful. And if we just use grad cores and we just make it 3, this means that we just need a low of 3. So just say that 1 2 3, we need just 3 elements on the low. So we can also just make the width of these elements like this. So you can just make it the width, like for example width full, so just make it completely full. Okay, but for this is not really working. Looks like I haven't added the class yet. So right here, so we need to add the width for like this one. Okay, yesterday they're all the same, but you see that they're just attached to each other, so this means that we just need a gap. So we just simply use gap as we just did on the flex. So we use gap. Okay, I just use gap 0. You can just see no change. Let's use gap 3. Looks perfect. And next, guys, the next thing I need you guys to just observe. So I want to show you the reason why I do like this flex compared to this flex. Okay, so why do I like this glide? So let me show you the reason why. For example, we need this element to just get 2 spaces. We need this element to just get the width up to here. Okay, we just need to just get it the 2 columns. How do we do this? We just go on this and we just say we add like class like glide. I'm not just remembering how it is called, but let me just go. It's this like glide lows, and then we just make it like glide lows. We just make it like 2 because we need to just get 2 lows. So I'm not sure if we just make it right. So this is not really true. So let's use the right one. I think it is called span. Okay, so I just saw something. It is just simply call span as the one in tables, call span, and then we select 2. Then now it's going to take 2 spaces. This really looks beautiful. And for example, we also need this one to just get 2 spaces just in here, to just get this one and the one below it. So how do we do this? We just go on this element, which is 2, and then we're gonna use low span, right? Because we want to get the low. Okay, low span, and then we get 2, and now you see that you just get the result. But I think the width is not really changed, but the problem is with ours. Okay, so let me show you the problem where it is. So this is because we have limited the height in here. The height should be 32, so we can just simply make the h full. You can just see the experience that I just want to show you guys. So that just aligns the elements in just the way we really need. This structure looks beautiful guys. So guys, so one thing which is the worst thing was the glide, and I just exactly showed you all this. So the other thing guys I can just tell you, thanks for watching this video. So if you think it was helpful, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and also like this video. In the next video, we'll be building this beautiful website you see over here, just designing everything, showing you how I just made all these beautiful designs that you will see, how to add the background, changing the fonts like these ones, like doing so many things, adding this beautiful scroll effects, adding the icons, and much more. Okay, thanks for watching.